Grand Rising, and welcome to another segment of CLG View Point. I'm the Lorraine Grais, and it is an honor and a pleasure to have you here today. Well, today is Thursday, March the 20th, 2025. Today we will be covering Wellness Chair Workout. On the international news, India calls for 10-year audit of USAID projects. Mexico City bans violent bullfighting. On the local news, cash sale for scrap metal from BC City's works yard raises questions. West Shore Post-Secondary Campus costs decreased by $4 million. Bystanders display bravery after man tries to steal senior's purse in Duncan. We need them. Hundreds of bees stolen. Yes, stolen from Food Forest in Nanaimo. Well, each segment I like to start with a sage clearing. For some of you who haven't heard of a sage clearing, it's a process where I clear out all those negative entities, those little ones that like to just cause or create a little bit of havoc, learning experiences, I call them. Anyways, to leave our space positive, divine love, and divine light. So I light up this sage stick. Sage is a herb and it really smells nice. To all low energy entity energies, you are healed, forgiven, enlightened, and sent back to your special place, escorted by my spiritual guides. And so it is. Divine love, divine lights, and thank you. Okay, on to the first video. This video is about wellness chair workout. Many years ago, I was a fitness instructor myself, and I used to do chair workouts as the instructor, teaching many people aerobics, chair aerobics, and weightlifting, and just really enjoyed it. Well, she inspired me to get back on track again, like with my health needs, with my eating needs, and now my exercise regime. So I followed along with her while I was taping this yesterday and sure enjoyed her. So I hope you enjoy this exercise program. And here we go.
It runs about only 8 minutes long, and all you need is a chair and some water. You can do this on your couch while watching TV, at your desk at work, and it's low impact and easy on the joints. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a simple warm-up. Only 1 minute long. Simple marching. There you go. You can let your arms dangle. We're just kind of stretching everything out and getting going here. We're going to go to alternating leg kicks here. Let's go. Kick. Kick. You need to hold on for some stability. That's fine too. Or even if you want to lean back. You want to engage your core. Sit up nice and straight. We're going to do half circles with our legs. I'll show you what I mean in just a few seconds here. We're going to bring our knee around in a circle. Draw a circle with your knee. Okay, so let's do the other side. There you go. Super easy. Nice, good warm up. We're going to go to our arms here in just a second. Awesome. Let's bring our arms out. We're going to do simple arm circles to the back. Come on, guys, let's get started. Your only limit is you. You can do it. Switch sides to the front here. Feels good to bring your arms out, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and do some biceps. Bicep and then overhead push down into a bicep again. Make sure you're still engaging your core. Hold it nice and tight right here. And nice posture. sit straight up. We're going to move on to chest flies in just a minute here. Lean slightly forward and chest fly. Squeeze right between your shoulder blades in the back there. There you go. Feels nice and good in the back when you squeeze. Still engage your core and nice straightforward posture. We're going to bring our arms to the front now and alternate outwards. Exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. So try and commit to it multiple times per week if you can. We're going to now reach across your chest. Reach. Alternating arms. There you go. Make sure you feel the pull in your sides here. There you go. We're going to reach out and do some pulls here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to reach and pull. Now pick up the speed a little bit. And alternate which one crosses on top. You should feel the squeeze in the back of your shoulder blades again. We're now going to do only right knee circles, okay? So we're going to bring our knee up around. There you go. Draw those circles again. Let's just wake up and be awesome today. Why not? You can do it. We're going to switch now to the other leg. We're doing circles outwards. Again, engage your core so you can feel it, not only in your legs, but also in your core. We're now going to bring our leg out and in a second. We're going to go out and in. Try and hold it up the whole time if you can. And hold yourself for stability if you need to, somewhere on the chair or on the couch. Keep going. We're going to do the other leg in a few seconds. I certainly felt it right here. I bet you did too. It doesn't get any easier, you just get stronger. We have a few more. There we go. We're now going to lower one leg up and down. And we're going to alternate. A few more and then we'll go to one leg. We're going to lower up and down here. You're certainly going to feel this right away in the top of your thigh. One more. Switch legs. Great job. You can definitely feel it in your core too. Great. We're going to go down and reach. And reach. We're going to bring our arms up and reach. There you go. This works your obliques and your abdominals right here. It's like a side crunch. Now we're going to bring our knees in and out. We're going to now change sides if we can. That's a little bit advanced, but try if you can. Now one leg. Again, hold on for stability if you need to, or in the bottom of the chair. Whatever feels best. Now the other one. We're going to go back to oblique bends. Hands up. Bending. Side to side. When you think about quitting, think about why you started. Let's just do it. Tell yourself that you can. Good. Let's go to that double knee bend. I certainly can feel this in my core. I'm sure you can too. Now we're just going to go center. There you go. Keep pushing it out. Switch sides. Keep pushing. Great job. And now we're into the stretching final countdown here. Let's bring our arms up and take a deep breath. Roll and back. Let's stretch out those shoulders. Very good. Make sure you're breathing. We're going to touch our toes now. Nice stretch and come up and down and up. Feels good to get down there, doesn't it? Touch your toes and up. Very good. We're going to now reach. Reach and hold. Reach and hold. Keep going. Just about done. Doesn't that feel good to complete that? It was so fast and easy. Nice deep breath.
Wasn't she fantastic? Yes, a wellness chair workout. And now on to international. International news. India calls for 10-year audit of U.S. aid projects. RT News, March 19, 2025. New Delhi has asked Washington to provide details of a decade's worth of funding provided by the U.S. Overseas Agency. The Indian Foreign Ministry has asked the U.S. Embassy to provide details of all expenditure on USAID-assisted or funded projects in India over the last 10 years. The ministry announced that last week in the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of parliament, Times of India reported on Tuesday. As such funding comes through organizations which are not for profit, the Indian government has sought information on the entities involved in implementing USAID-backed initiatives. Minister of State for External Affairs Kirta Vadhan Singh told the newspaper American officials have not formally responded to India's request, according to the report. While there is some open source information available, the Indian government understandably expects an official response from the U.S. government on this matter, said Singh. Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said last month that U.S. aid had been allowed to operate in India in good faith. However, the information emerging from the U.S. administration seemed to reveal activities which are in bad faith, Jaishankar stated. Commenting on data on U.S. aid programs released by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Jaishankar revealed that the government was looking into NGO contributions and that such organizations were obligated to declare their sources of funding, adding that the facts will come out. In a related development on Tuesday, India's Economic Intelligence Agency, the Enforcement Directorate, raided 8 locations linked to U.S. aid activities. They included the premises of a fund manager associated with an Open Society Foundation, which is controlled by U.S. billionaire George Soros. The raids were carried out following the discovery of a money trail of about $3 million that led to various NGOs. In its 2023 and 2024 annual report, India's finance ministry revealed that U.S. aid was funding 7 projects in India with a total investment of $750 million. In the most recent fiscal year, USAID had allocated $97 million to these projects, which are being implemented in partnerships with the Indian government and span multiple sectors, including agriculture, water, and renewable energy, disaster management, and health. On to the video.
of External Affairs has formally requested a detailed report and information from the US Embassy regarding the allocation and expenditure of US aid funds for projects in India over the past decade. This request comes amid claims from US President Donald Trump suggesting that US aid funds were used to influence voter turnout in Indian elections. The Indian government is awaiting an official response to clarify the scope of USAID's involvement in India, including the NGOs through which these projects have been executed. So, of course, that's the details that's coming in at this point of time. My colleague Aditya with us on the broadcast. Aditya, of course, a request being issued by the MEA. Take our viewers through the details.
Yes, the MEA has informed the Rajya Sabha that while some open source information is available, the US government has not yet provided the requested details. The Indian government is waiting an official response to clarify the scope of USAID involvement in India, including the NGOs through which these projects have been executed. Let us just put this into perspective. When US President Donald Trump had made this statement that the USAID funding was funding was used for influencing the voter turnout in India. There was a huge it led to a political conflict between the two major parties in India, Congress and the BJP. And since then, the name of George Soros have also been in existence. There were reports that George Soros and its Soros Foundation was involved in this entire incident. Because at that time, the former US President Joe Biden had also personally met George Soros at the White House. So now since these statements were made by US President Donald Trump, the Ministry of External Affairs has requested the United States Embassy to release data of the funding of the USAID in the last few years. Where did the funding happen and how much was spent by the USAID in India? Yes, Asami.
All right. Aditya, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details with us. So we're going to leave it there. And
My personal thoughts. A 10-year audit of USAID projects will show the people if all projects were managed efficiently and if they were managed fiscally and financially responsible and all monies were accounted for. This will definitely bring clarity and transparency to the people. And do you think that this audit is being done under natural law? Mexico City bans violent bullfighting. RT News, March 19, 2025. A new law prohibits killing or injuring the animal during the spectacle while also seeking to protect the matador. Mexico City lawmakers have overwhelmingly voted to make bullfights bloodless, aiming to address concerns about animal cruelty while preserving a centuries-long tradition. It also follows a recent incident where a bull seriously injured a matador. Passed 61-1 on Tuesday, the law prohibits killing or injuring animals during the spectacle and bans matadors from using sharp objects such as swords. Bulls will have their horns covered to prevent injuries to humans. A 15-minute limit has also been set on how long bulls can be in the ring. According to the newspaper EI Universal, the bill started off as a citizen initiative, which was supported by Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and Mexican City Mayor Clara Brugada. Brugada celebrated its passage on the social media, saying it was a step towards turning the capital into a city which respects animals' rights. According to various estimates, up to 250,000, yes, 250,000 bulls are killed each year in bullfighting worldwide. Supporters of the sport protested outside the Mexican Congress building on Tuesday, with some attempting to breach barricades. Riot police had to intervene after scuffles broke out between rival groups of protesters. Bullfighting was introduced to Mexico from Spain in the 16th century and has since become deeply embedded in the national culture. Mexico City hosts the world's largest bull ring, Plaza Mexico, which seats over 40,000 spectators. The Mexico City law will take effect in 210 days, allowing time for the authorities to update regulations before the new bullfighting season starts in November. And on to the video.
61 votos en favor, un voto en contra y 0 votos en abstención.
No van a poder tener las banderillas, van a durar hasta máximo 15 minutos cada torero que quiera torear al novillo o al toro de lidia. Lo más importante es que no va a haber un sufrimiento que conlleve sangre y sobre todo la muerte del ejemplar.
¡Ignorantes! ¡Ignorantes! La tauromaquia es cultura, no acabemos con la cultura. Una actividad donde el toro de lidia muere como su naturaleza le exige las razas, porque no es un animal de corta, es una fiera. Es una fiera, una bestia.
Nadie perdió su trabajo. Hubo un punto medio para poder seguir con estos espectáculos taurinos, pero ahora sin violencia.
Es la lucha de muchos años, de muchos activistas, que nunca este tema había llegado al pleno y el día de hoy, por primera vez en la historia, llega al pleno. Entonces estamos súper contentos, además de que es la primera iniciativa ciudadana que se vota en la historia de la Ciudad de México.
My personal thoughts. The people spoke. The majority do not want the killing or injury of bulls continued. Do you think that this new law prohibiting the killings or injuring of bulls in bullfighting is under natural law? Now on to local news. Cash sale of scrap metal from BC City Works Yard raises questions. Global news written by Catherine Urquhart, posted on March 18th. A global news investigation has uncovered that for at least 2 years, in 2022 and 2023, metal was being taken from Richmond City Works Yard to Mitchell Island and sold for cash by city employees. The results of a global BC Freedom of Information request came back with 33 fully redacted pages. There are numerous receipts and emails. In one, the union alerts management that material is being dropped off on site and cash is given. We are definitely now concerned, as this started with 2 envelopes and now 11 occurrences, the email states. The city of Richmond says its investigation found about $4,000 in cash was involved. We understand the optics. We appreciate the optics aren't good. That's why the process has now changed, City of Richmond spokesperson Clay Adams told Global News. The money that the staff brought back was handed to management and was actually used for city purposes. There was no personal use of funds. There was no money changing hands or being shifted for any purpose other than city purposes. Following our interview, in an email, Adams admitted that a small amount of the cash was used to purchase gift cards in accordance with the employee recognition program at the time. The medal selling was at the direction of the manager. The city sets policies, procedures, and work direction. QP, which represents city workers, told Global News. Richmond says the manager behind the medal selling faced no discipline. And on to the video.
Richmond City Works Yard, metal is everywhere, and there's a system for recycling. But Global News has uncovered how some metal was being taken to Mitchell Island and sold for cash by employees.
We understand the optics. We appreciate the optics aren't good. That's why the process has now changed.
How long did it go on for?
This went on for at least 2 years, may have been even long before that.
Results of our Freedom of Information request came back with 33 fully redacted pages. There are numerous receipts and emails. In one, the union alerts management that material is being dropped off on site and cash is given. And we are definitely now concerned, as this started with 2 envelopes and now 11 occurrences. City of Richmond says their investigation found about $4,000 cash was involved.
The money that the staff brought back was handed to management, and it was actually used for city purposes. There was no personal use of funds. There was no money changing hands or being shifted for any purpose other than city purposes.
The Metal for Cash scheme doesn't end there. Following our interview, Richmond admitted that a small amount of the cash was used to purchase gift cards in accordance with the employee recognition program at the time. Turns out the whistleblower was a union member and the metal selling was at the direction of a manager. QP told Global News, the city sets policies, procedures, and work direction. Richmond says the manager behind the metal selling faced no discipline. Catherine.
Personal thoughts. This does raise concerns that a city employees and management were stealing metal for over 2 years and sold the metal for cash, and not one employee got fired for stealing or charged as stealing is a criminal offense. There was no discipline. Under natural law, should there be a full forensic audit, and whoever has committed an offense, should they be held accountable under the law. This is a criminal offense. West Shore post-secondary campus costs decreased by $4 million. Jack News, written by Laura Brogman, March the 19th, 2025. The expected cost of the West Shore post-secondary campus has decreased as the construction enters its final months. West Shore Learning Center project's anticipated total cost decreased from $112 million to $108 million to reflect the revised project costs. The BC 2025 budget says contributions from other sources decreased from $32 million to $28 million. However, this decrease is still up from the project's initial budget of $98 million prior to it being delayed for 1 year due to supply chain and labor shortages. Royal Roads University is contributing just under a quarter of the bill, with estimated costs at $26.8 million. RRU purchased the land for $18.5 million and is contributing up to $8.3 million for development costs. RRU says the project costs were reviewed and refined, leading to the decrease from the higher budget. By adjusting the sequence of work, the project team improved cost efficiencies while keeping the project on schedule, the university said in a statement to Czech News. At the initial project announcement, UVEC said it would be contributing $1 million and Camosun College $200,000. The amount contributed by these two schools is unchanged by the budget decrease. UVic will be offering its Computing Gateway program at the campus, which is the first 2 years of computing-centric degrees. personal thoughts. It is refreshing to see that the West Coast Learning Center initial budget for the build has decreased the cost instead of increasing the cost that we have found in past construction budget costs of new builds. Hopefully this project was not overcosted in the initial stages. Bystanders display bravery after man tries to steal senior's purse in Duncan. Check News, written by Adam Chan, March 19, 2025. The North Cowichan Duncan RCMP is praising the bravery of bystanders who leapt to the aid of an elderly woman after a man tried to steal her purse last week. Mounties say the attempted robbery occurred on March 14th, just before 5 p.m., near the intersection of Canada Avenue and Station Street in the downtown area. Police were dispatched to the scene, and when officers arrived, they saw a suspect being restrained by bystanders in order to prevent him from fleeing, stated the RCMP. Meanwhile, other bystanders were helping the victim, who was later treated by paramedics for non-life-threatening injuries, according to the RCMP. The suspect, identified as a 47-year-old Michael Harlow, was charged with robbery and remains in police custody as of Wednesday. Mounties say they believe the incident was isolated and are thanking community members for intervening. Of particular note is the bravery of the community members who came together to ensure the safety of a senior citizen, said Staff Sergeant Ken Beard. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact the North Cowichan Duncan RCMP. My personal thoughts. The community members who came together to ensure the safety of the senior citizen was extraordinary people of courage and definite bravery. We need them. Hundreds of bees stolen from food forest in Nanaimo. Check News, written by Sky Ryan. Volunteers of the Nanaimo Food Forest were shocked to find thieves stole their bees just hours after pollinators were moved in on Saturday. And here is the video.
It's a sound that sends Colleen McLean's worries free, digging into another spring of planting at the Beaufort Community Gardens in Nanaimo.
Smells gorgeous. You need to get out in the garden and the greenery, and
it's an oasis in the city next to the Nanaimo Hospital, where volunteers tend to these gardens and the neighboring Beaufort Park food forest that provides food for all who wish to watch it grow from the ground up and harvest what they need, with the help of the hard-working bees who pollinate here each spring.
We need them. We need the pollinators for everything we do. Right?
But Saturday, someone took that most important ingredient of this community's recipe, the bees. Just hours after food forest volunteers nestled their mason bees in Saturday, someone snatched up hundreds of them inside these cocoons that they were readying to wake up in.
Well, it's unfortunate the containers we put the bees in were a little bit too obvious, and so when our volunteers came back the next morning, about half the bees were gone.
Brian Henderson is a volunteer coordinator for the food forest and says it's unclear why anyone would steal the mason bees.
Well, I have no speculation, actually.
I just don't understand it. Like, this garden, or this whole food forest is for everyone. Anyone in the city can come. So why would you steal them? Where are they going to use them?
well, and affected what's going to be produced this year as well. So it's not just a short-term problem. There's a time frame with which you have to work with as well.
So with blooms right on the verge of opening, volunteers got as busy as bees and rounded up replacements in a hurry.
The volunteers jumped on it, and within a couple hours we had been donated more bees than we lost. So it was a nice example of our volunteer community at the food forest.
Ensuring these crops will get the start they need after an unexpected theft that could have cost these hard-working volunteers much of their harvest.
My personal thoughts. Through this challenging time that the hundreds of bees being taken or stolen, the community pulled together and made sure there was more than enough bees for the food forest. That is what I call the spirit and love of a community. I am Cindy Lorraine Grais of CLG Viewpoint, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you being here today. If you feel compelled to, please share this forum. Enjoy the video on kindness. The world we make inspire kindness. Have a truly wonderful day and see you on Friday, March the 21st, 2025, until we meet again.
Sometimes the world feels crazy and lonely to me. Maybe even a little fake. But what would happen if I slowed down and started offering kindness to others? Our teachers say the best leaders challenge us to be more, to focus on helping others before ourselves. Even though we're just kids, that doesn't mean we can't have a huge impact on others. We can change things for the better, maybe even more than adults. No matter who we are or what we're doing, any one of us can be good to others. Small thing, but I've seen how it creates a big ripple effect. Where one act of kindness helped you and me, then it kept going again and again. Being kind encouraged someone else to do the same. Because they felt noticed, because they felt loved, more and more people joined in. That's the kind of world I want to grow up in. Don't you want to be a part of that? A place where everyone looks out for one another? Where what we say and do can't help but inspire more kindness? That's the world I want to live in. And that's the world we can create, together. So let's look around, wherever we are, and be willing to go first. Because not only does kindness matter, it spreads.